Hey everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to the first video of our new video blog. I have spent over 16 years in professional finances and investment management, and in this video blog I wanted to share lots of things that I've learned on my journey. One of the things that we wanted to cover in this video blog is not only what I know about the world of finances and investing and all of the knowledge that we can share, but also our new undertaking where we want to bring together some of the things that we know about investing and combine it with a lot of enthusiasm that we see out there on the internet. People like yourselves, everyone who is curious about markets, how to understand them, how to read them. We want to put all of this energy together and create something that's completely new. We will talk about the business that we're building together. I hope this is something that you're looking for, and if not, this should be something that you're looking for. Please support us, extremely important at this point in time. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, come join us. Tell us what you think, what do you want to talk about, and let's make this a lot of fun. Before we start on this, a little bit of backstory about myself, and we will start back in 1984. My name is Alex. I was born in East Germany. My dad was a part of the Soviet military, and I've spent about 3.5 years of my life in East Germany, kind of staring at the wall from the other side. When I was 3.5 years old, my dad, through a regular rotation, has moved our family all the way to the eastern Siberia, far east, to a place called Chita, and then we had to get on the Trans-Siberian Railroad and spend another 20 hours going east. It was an interesting experience. I spent 5 years of my life there. Then the Soviet Union fell apart. We came back to Ukraine, where I'm from. I have spent most of my childhood in this wonderful country. When I was 15, my dad, he left the military at that point and went to work for a commercial company, and he had a chance to get a promotion, and he was relocated to the United States. When I was 15, I found myself in Atlantic City, of all places, so Atlantic City, New Jersey, where I had finished my high school and also had a chance to do a quick stint at Trump Resorts and Casinos. So I did work for Mr. Trump, which was an amazing job at the time. When you're 15 and you make $200 in tips on every weekend night, it's a lot of money. Then came time to go to college, and all of this money that I made evaporated right away because college in the US is a little bit expensive. I went to a school called Drexel University, which is located in Philadelphia. It's a school that does, at the time it did two things really well, engineering and business. So I went for the business track. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was actually quite good at coding, but I finished school in 2002, which was a year after the dot-com crash. So coding and technology was not the thing that you tended to look at that particular point in time. It's a bit of a shame, but I thought, what's the next thing that's kind of like it, associated with numbers, with logical thinking, something that's interesting and something that applies to a lot of other things. Accounting came to mind, and accounting is a great profession. I've done a few years of that in college, and then I thought that accounting could use a little bit of spice, and I was thinking of what's the kind of a next thing after accounting that would be even more interesting. And this is how I came to finance. So finance fascinated me. I didn't know what did I want to do in finance, so I was looking at kind of every possible option. Obviously, thinking about moving to New York and kind of wearing a suit and doing all this big boy stuff. Coming out of college, though, if you don't really know where you want to go, you need to start somewhere. And so where I've started through an internship that I've received through my college. So I started in this tiny company that no one knew at the time. So it had 3 offices. One of the offices was in New York, one in Boston, and one in Delaware. The company was called BlackRock. I started there in 2007. Obviously, BlackRock became very well known since then. We have bought several companies that were the size of ourselves and continued to expand. And through this journey, I started in Philadelphia and then kind of moved to London in 2010. I have joined the fixed income department, which is one of the largest departments, not only within this company, but in the market itself. So we have managed a tremendous amount of money. So here I went from somebody who didn't know where I wanted to go, and all of a sudden I was connected to teams that were managing portfolios of 20, 30, 50, and eventually $70 billion. So, you have teams of kind of 5 to 10 people that run this amazing amount of money. I've spent over 14 years now looking and working very closely with professionals that do this on a daily basis, try to read the markets, understand the markets, know what drives prices, investors and invest tremendous amounts of capitals on behalf of many investors, mostly pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, insurance companies, and so on. What was interesting throughout this journey to me in particular was obviously you work with very smart people. In investing, you always stay at the edge of the news, which is the place where it's probably most intellectually kind of stimulating type of an environment to be. But also, the pure fact that you get to work and see a lot of people who have to make a lot of decisions on a daily basis with relatively limited information. Markets are an interesting beast. They are like humans. The markets are humans. It's a collection of humans, and so things that drives us as humans are also the things that drive the markets. They're not necessarily logical, or they don't necessarily behave in a predictable manner. But if you spend the time and if you're motivated properly to understand them, to kind of learn the markets as they experience, you can go to great length. And I have known people who have performed extremely well for a long amount of time. Having this experience with this amount of people also shows you, and over this long of a time, also gives you a little bit of a different perspective. One of the things that were surprising to me is that the best investors that I've met are not necessarily people that came from very famous schools. Typically, it's not the Harvard, the Oxford type. The head of our department had a degree in American history at the time, and he is and continues to be a very famous investor. So I thought, what is it that drives people to excel? I mean, it's a very fast-paced environment. It's almost like sports, right? To be in the professional, you always have to kind of run faster than everybody else, and you have to continue to improve. Investments are kind of similar. It's very similar to that. You have to continuously be curious, continuously challenge yourself, follow the markets, shift your perspective, shift the way of thinking with the way that the market shifts, be humble, and more than anything else, you have to be motivated. It's people who come in earlier than everyone else, who spend the most amount of time. It's people who have this internal motivation to excel. Those are the ones that do well. And this motivation is not constant. Some people have more or less of it naturally. Some people can become more motivated, and some people can become less motivated. This is a part of my personal experience. So as I've mentioned, motivation in my mind is the main driver of personal excellence, how good of an investor you are, and honestly, how good of anything that you are. If you write poetry or ride dirt bikes, I'm sure the more motivated you are, the better you are at those things. So that was my first experience, and very important kind of takeaway that took me over 10 years to build. Then several years ago came COVID, and a lot of us were stuck inside of our homes, and several other interesting things have happened. One of the things that happened is that we've seen a tremendous boost of individuals, again, mostly people with no investment experience, pour their money into meme stocks, into cryptocurrencies, into any kind of investments that were available to them, and try to navigate the market. Some have done a good job of it, some have not done a good job of it, but what was interesting to me is that these investors, for the first time in probably a very long time, have begun dominating certain types of markets and basically setting the themes and trends with the things that they were doing. And partially because of that, and also partially because I think that part of the investor community, so kind of individuals who just try to navigate the markets for themselves, tends to be tremendously underserved by the financial services industry, right? I mean, you can't get a good, solid type of an advice unless you have a multi-million-dollar portfolio and you have some kind of advisor that looks into you. And even then, typically, you rely on knowledge of one or two investment professionals. And so typically, the type of advice that you get or the type of direction that you get in this market are not good. Or at least they don't really lead you to repeatable positive experiences in investing. And so we've seen, since the Robin Hood drama, the GameStop, and a lot of people have lost money and a lot of people have pulled back. So we've seen a tremendous rush into investing markets, and then we've seen quite a few people stepping back because they were burned. I thought to myself that, obviously these people were motivated to come to these markets and put their own money on the line, read the things that were available to them, talk to each other on things like Reddit. And I thought that, if we take this power, this combined willingness to understand, invest, take risk, and dive into this market and combine it with a little bit of knowledge of how to do this. Not what to do, but what to look for, how to analyze, how to think about these markets, and combine them together, we can probably do a better job together than any one individual at any one of these big investment firms. And so through this realization, an idea came to me that we've decided to explore ever since. Also, at the same time, there are, new tools are available to us through the power of the internet. At no time in human history were we able to collaborate on such a massive scale using relatively simple tools that we can build ourselves. An interesting time, an interesting opportunity. A lot of people who are still interested in getting into investing and understanding these markets. We now have the power of the internet to connect all of us and come up with something that can be better than what any one of us individually can create. So this is the journey that we're inviting you on, and I hope that it sounds interesting, and I hope you will join us. Make sure you subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment. Obviously, there will be more videos, and we would like to know what you want to talk about so we can kind of direct our next efforts in this space according to our community's wishes. Come join us. Let's crack these markets.